Welcome back to another episode of Warriors Unite, the stories untold. And with me today, I have a special friend. She's been my friend for over 15 years. At this point, we're twin. Cool?
Literally.
And so today I have with me Alethea, aka Thea, and she is going to be talking with me about a warrior's keeper. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So you have known me for a while. Mm-hmm. What has been the scariest thing?
The scariest thing for me with your journey has been, I believe, the time that you had your surgery. Yeah. You know, it was really scary for me because I'm thinking, what's going to happen? Like, is she going to be okay? You know, what is her life going to be? Because you're literally removing an organ. Like, it's a major thing, you know. And I was scared. I don't know if I really told you, but it was scary for me. But as I would have probably mentioned to you, is that at this point in our friendship, it's just like, listen, whatever happens, happens. We're just going to roll with the punches. Like, I'm here for the long haul. It's like ride or die, literally, you know. And I wasn't always there. At first, I was really scared about being your friend because I'm like, oh, this girl is cool, but what if I don't, you know, I get to love her and then she passes on or something happens. Like, how am I gonna really deal with this? But that was, I'm okay now, but that surgery, that was scary for me.
Piggybacking off that, because I don't think you've ever said that to me.
Probably not.
But how did you get to this place of being okay?
As I said, it's just realizing that, listen, like, we're meant to be friends. And at first, as I said, I was scared because I'm like, no, like, suppose she passes or something happens. I don't want to be close to her. And I just said, you know what? Forget about it. And I saw that there were many different opportunities that God was like, hey, here's another chance for you guys to be friends. Like, stop fighting it. It was us being camp in the same dorm at camp, going to the same high school. And I'm like, okay. So it's over these years going through the journey with you, realizing that, hey, you're resilient. You're gonna bounce back. I just need to be there to give you that support as best as I possibly can. So that's where I'm at. And that kind of helped me to not be as fearful as I was before.
Yeah, and you also have other sickle cell friends.
Correct, yeah.
So I think it's safe to say that it helped you to see a different perspective of it as well
100%.
Because you've been close with us.
100%.
But what other impacts has it had on you? Has my illness had on you? Whether it is emotionally or spiritually? Yeah. How has this entire journey, because we can't negate the fact that it affects everybody in my space. Yeah. So how has it really affected you?
For me, going through the journey with you, being on the sidelines, it gave me a sense of knowing what's going on, having a deeper, I guess, detail of these are what sicklers go through. And for me, I feel like, you know what, this makes me more of an advocate. Like, that's what I push now. Because too often we hear these stories about how sicklers are treated, how the disease is managed or not managed, you know, what the treatment is like at the hospitals. And I'm like, no. Or I might even see some of my friends outside of you and I realize, hey, the rain is falling and they're in pain. And I'm like, listen, where's your sweater? What's going on? What are you doing? You know, or we might not even at work. I have a girlfriend at work and she might not be able to wear certain jackets or certain things. And I'm the one to be like, hello, the place is cold. She needs a sweater. It might not match the uniform, but she needs it because of her illness. So for me, it affects me at first negatively because I was scared, but now it's positive to be like, you know what, I'm going to help fight with these girls and these guys as best as I can.
And I love that. And that's one of the reasons why I call this episode Warrior's Keeper, because I believe that support is important. And so that's also something that I'm very grateful for, because I've had your support for more than 10 years. Yeah.
I ain't going nowhere.
You cannot go anywhere at this point.
Nowhere.
But if you were supposed to encourage other persons to become a keeper or a supporter or an ally, whatever it is that we'd want to call it, what are some of the lessons that you have learned that you can teach them, encourage them to in turn become a you?
I mean, it really boils down to support. It is, if you are a friend of someone who's a sickler or your spouse is a sickler, it goes down to the support. What is it that your friend, your spouse needs at this very moment? Are they going through a crisis? What do they need? So as I say, it just goes back to be supportive. And it can be something simple. It could be you going through your crisis. You just need to be there.
Yeah.
Just be in the space while they're going through it. Just be there. Just be there to listen. Or it could be something as extreme. I remember even at one point you weren't well. You had a crisis and you came back home from the hospital. And I'm there and I'm like, listen, you need to eat. And I'm there cutting up the food to feed you. And then, you needed to take a shower. And I'm ready, like, roll up my sleeves, let's go, to bathe you if needs be.
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't even need to be as extreme as that. It's just be that support. Be there. Be that advocate. Be that friend. Because sometimes, as you say, sometimes you guys can't talk. Sometimes you're not in a position based off of going through a crisis that you can't say anything. So as a friend, just be understanding of the disease. Ask questions if needs be, if you don't understand. And just be that support, whatever it may be.
So having supported me and been an ally, an advocate for us from the sidelines, what is a myth that you heard before that now that you're an ally, you know it's not true?
I think possibly the myth about having children, and even about living longer. They used to have this stigma about, by age 40. I know too many sicklers who are old and growing, and then even about having children. My ex, he just welcomed a brand new baby into this world, and he's a sickler. And it keeps going. I have clients who are sicklers. I have church sisters who are sicklers, and they have their babies, and they're good, and they're living their life. So that was a big thing for me. I'm like, ooh, they can have a baby? Like, I know for some persons it's by choice, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I was always under the impression that it just cannot be done. It's going to be too much of a strain on their bodies. It's just not going to work. But myth definitely debunked.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So thank you for being here, but thank you also for being here, as in throughout my entire journey. Mm-hmm. The journey continues, but I'm grateful that you're here.
Yeah.
Hearts, ear hugs.
Love you.
And thanks.
You're welcome.